Well, welcome everybody, and welcome to those of you who are joining later. So, whatever time it is that you're watching this, welcome. And we're just going to start seated comfortably. And if you're not comfortable sitting with your legs crossed, you can also grab something, place it a little bit like between the legs like this, and maybe kneel instead. Sometimes that can feel a little bit better on the sacrum. Allow the eyes to soften and close. And take a moment here to feel the points where your body touches the ground. You can take your hands, maybe place them on your baby, or if you want to, you can place them over your heart center. Taking a few moments to drop into this moment. And sometimes, right, the mind moves all over the place, way ahead to the future what ifs, way ahead to the um, ideas of what has happened in the past. And so you're collecting all of your awareness and your attention, bring it fully into this moment. In this moment, you're sitting here in this meditation. Perhaps your baby is moving a little bit. Maybe your baby is just kind of still, or maybe you don't feel baby yet at all. You're safe in your home. Taking a moment to check in with your physical body, just seeing how it feels today. Is there tightness or tension in certain parts of the body? Sort of feeling of heaviness or tiredness? Maybe there's a lightness and an energy. Just noticing whatever is present here in this moment. Because really, this is all that we have, is this moment. We're learning all too well, that things are unexpected in the world. We cannot predict how things go. And even when we do predict how things go, it's not always that way. And so, here in this moment, what is true, what is real, what is present for you? The sensation of your breath, that's something that's constant. The feeling of your physical body here in this space, again, it's something that's constant, even though that sensation might change from moment to moment. And so let's all deepen the breathing, purposefully deepen the breathing. So breathe in and out through the nose if it's clear. If you're stuffy, you can breathe through the mouth. Breathing through the nose actively calms the system. It slows the breathing and it also filters the air, right? Our nostrils act like a little filter system in a sense. And so feel the breath flow from the bottom to the middle, all the way up to the top, and then exhaling, emptying from the top of the lungs to the middle, all the way down. And sometimes it can even be helpful to like move your hands with the breath as if the hands are moving up on the inhalation, down on the exhalation. Almost like a wave-like motion, allowing the breath to expand through the sides and the back of the body. And slowly here begin to move the body. So we're just going to move the shoulders. So circling the shoulders around, allowing those shoulders to, sorry about that, allowing the shoulders to move through its kind of entire range of motion, and then rotate the shoulders in the opposite way. Still moving with the breath, right? The breath is what keeps us anchored here. Inhale, sweep the arms right up to the sky, lift them up high, gaze up to the fingertips, take the hands, clasp them, and spin them upward. So allowing the palms to reach high, the shoulders to reach up towards the ears, and then drop the shoulders down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin. Lower the chin down towards your chest and just allow the hands to rest on the back of the head. So a nice little opening here through the back of the neck. Inhale, lift the head and heart up, push the elbows back. And then exhale, roll the spine. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, roll the spine, head hang. We're just going to move a few times on your own here. Just getting a little bit of movement through the spine. And when we stop moving, parts of the body begin to almost like create this, sort of looks like cobwebs, really, in the joints and in the fascia, the connective tissue. And so this movement begins to clear those cobwebs away. It begins to bring circulation. That circulation brings, right, an increased flow of all the fluids in the body through the body. And just release the arms down. So again, if you get uncomfortable sitting, come to kneel if you want to. You could even do this while sitting in a chair or sitting on a little exercise ball. And so release the arms alongside the body. The right arm reaches down towards the ground, and then just extend the left ear towards the left shoulder. Take a deep breath in and just do little tiny movements with the head back and forth. Not even a lot, just like super, super small. Moving again with your breathing. And then rotate the chin down towards the chest, over to the right shoulder. Extend the left arm out to the side, and little gentle yes and no's here. And drop the chin down to the chest, roll over to the left side, and then down to the chest, over to the right side. And so just moving here side to side a little bit. Good. And release that back to center, maybe even shake that out. Move your way onto hands and knees. And if you want a little bit of extra support, again, grab your blanket, or it could even be like a towel. I like to use a wool blanket because it's a little bit sturdier, and you can just fold it up, place it beneath the knees. And so feel the hands reach out towards the ground, spine nice and long. Take a moment here to feel your spine through neutral. So you're hugging baby in towards you a little bit. The spine is nice and long. The back of the neck is long. Keep baby hugging in a little. Just dip the belly a tiny bit. Lift up through the heart. Gaze up. Exhale, draw the belly in. Allow the head to hang. And again, just inhale, lift the heart, tilt the tailbone up a little bit, and then hug baby in, round through the back. Even think about pushing through the space where your shoulder blades are. And then dipping the belly down a little bit and just move here on your own. And so you might just feel this like little pelvic rocking, or maybe you feel it a little bit more in the chest. What you want to be a bit mindful of is overstretching the abdomen. So if you're feeling like a ton of stretching in the abdomen, try not to stretch that as much and think about extending through the chest more and opening up in that way. And then just sink it back into child's pose. So the knees can move out to the side, hips move back, and you can rest the forehead on a block if you want to, or on your hands. If your belly, like once your belly grows more and more, when it starts to touch the ground, you might need your head a little bit higher here. And so take a few really, really deep breaths in and extend slowly out through the exhalation. This is a wonderful resting pose that helps us to, again, recenter, reground. And you can imagine that there will be plenty of moments for centering and grounding, not just throughout your pregnancy, but also during your birth, like in between contractions. And also once baby arrives, in those moments that feel really overwhelming and intense, pausing, grounding, feeling your body, checking in. And slowly here, move your way up onto hands and knees. Good. Tuck the toes under and lift your hips right up to the sky, coming up into your first downward dog. So options if you don't want to do downward dog is, again, you can do a few more of these pelvic rocks in cat and cow. Or you can also stay in child's pose a little longer, especially for those of you that are a little bit sleepy and tired today. Feel the heels draw down towards the ground. Maybe shake the head out, yes and no. And then lower the knees down. Take now the right leg and just swing it up to the front of your mat. You can have a block beneath your hands if you want to, if you have one, or something to substitute a block. And slowly here, we're gonna rock a little bit forward and back, just moving a bit through the legs. And again, it doesn't matter how big these movements are, just kind of feel the sensation that lives within the physical body. Right? Notice the deep breath and see if you can bring your awareness just to this breath, this sensation. That's it. Slowly here, move the right foot open to the side. It might even come off the mat a little bit. You can take the right hand, place it on the right thigh, and we're going to circle the hips around. So move the hips in a nice big circle. All of these movements help to create a little bit more balance and space in the pelvis, which is really great for positioning baby. They can be used in pregnancy, but also during labor. right? So if baby's in a non-optimal position, assuming that you can still move your body, once you get an epidural, you won't be able to do this if you choose to do that, or if you're delivering by a C-section, obviously, then it won't matter too much. Just lunge down a little bit here and bring the hands back onto the block or the floor and sink it back into either child's pose, or you can also tuck the toes under and sit back and kneel. Right, so you can think of all of these things as being different ways to just move through your pregnancy, through birth, and after. Right, these are all different ways to move the body, to move the energy in the body, to calm the mind. And so we're going to come back up onto hands and knees. Hands are either on the floor or on your block. Oops. And go ahead and step the left foot forward. So lunging deeply now into the left leg. You're going to slowly begin to rock forward and back. In this practice, right, this is a way to nourish your body, your mind, your heart. And so you might even ask yourself, like, what feels really nourishing for my own body today? And maybe it's moving really slowly. If you have a bit of pent up anxiety feelings, you might actually want to move a little bit more quickly in the beginning, just to kind of um, move a little more of that energy through. Like sometimes we need to be a little bit more, um, like have a little more intensity in the movement. And lunge deeply now into the left knee. So you're gonna walk the left foot open to the side quite a bit. Place the left hand on the left thigh, and then slowly circle it around. Maybe even switching directions. And then walk the foot back in, come on to hands and knees. You can move the block to the side for a moment. So on hands and knees, spine nice and long and neutral, right? Hug baby in towards you. Extend the right leg out behind you. Point the toes down. We're going to lower and tap the toes to the ground and then lift it up. Tap and lift. So moving here on your own, moving with your breath. Good. Now just balance here with the leg lifted. And if you choose to, you can extend the left arm forward. And so with the left arm forward, you might also choose to have the toe on the ground, belly hugging in, breathe. And lower the hand to the ground, lower the knees to the ground. Just tuck your toes under, walk the hands up, and sink back onto your heels. Taking a few breaths here. Just kind of notice how that feels. Probably feeling it in your feet and toes a bit. And walk the hands forward again. Really spread the fingers out and feel like the hands are like gripping on the mat. That'll help with strength and to take a bit of weight off the wrists. Extend now the left leg out. Both hips are the same distance to the ground. And then gently lower the toe, lift the leg. And so moving again on your own here with your breathing. Keep the leg up in the air and then maybe extend the right arm forward. Thumb points up. You can also lower the back toes to the ground if you want. This is a good way to strengthen your abdominal muscles. This is pretty much like one of the safest ways to strengthen them in pregnancy. This helps to strengthen the transverse abdominal muscles and then lower that down, lower the knee. We're going to take the block if you have one. If not, just imagine you do. Place it between the thighs. So see it's on this kind of small width. Tuck the toes under. Take the hands and place them on the sacrum. Inhale, lengthen and squeeze that block between your legs. If you don't have a block, you can kind of use anything that has a bit of firmness to it. So maybe like a foam pillow, or if you have like a little half inflated ball, like rubber ball, and then lift up through the heart as if the heart is being lifted upward by a string. The lower back isn't really arching too much. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, release that. You can release the block to the side. Good. From here, if you choose, downward dog, lift the hips high, heels to the ground, and then walk yourself all the way up towards the front of your mat. You can use a block beneath the hands or just move the hands onto the thighs. Take a moment to lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, maybe fold forward a little bit. Spread your feet wide enough so that you have room for your baby. And then bend the knees, hands up on the thighs, everybody. Head higher than the heart. Inhale, come right up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment to breathe. Again, feeling as if your breath is kind of flowing down on the exhalation towards the feet. And inhaling, drawing up. Exhale, draw it down. Inhale up. And lower the palms down towards your heart. Inhale. The arms are going to sweep up towards the sky. Grab onto your left wrist and just reach over to the right side. And inhale back to center and over to the left side. Inhale back to center, soften the knees, take the hands, clasp them behind your lower back, lift up through the chest and reach the arms behind. Breathe in, feel the front of the chest open, the heart open. Exhale out a sigh. And again, inhale. Just release that out. Maybe shake it out a little bit. So find that nice stable stance at the top of your mat. Have your block at the top if you need it. And the hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward, hands on thigh. Inhale, lengthen the spine a bit. Exhale, take the hands and place them on the left thigh. Step the right foot back and stay balanced on the right tiptoes. My balance is a little off today. Inhale, arms reach up. Lunge deeply. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, draw the knee to a bent position and draw the hands to your hips like this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. A couple more times. And again, if you have that like anxiety that when you move, it tends to lower, move a little bit more vigorously. Right? Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you need to be really slow and gentle. You can exert yourself a bit. It's actually good to. It's good to get the heart rate up. And lunge down, inhale, arms reach up high, and then place the hands on the left thigh again. We're gonna step right up to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. So hands are still on the thighs. Exhale, roll the spine. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, roll the spine. One more time. Take the hands, place them now on your right thigh. Shift the weight deeply into the right foot and then step the left foot back. So stay nice and balanced here. Inhale, arms sweep up. Sink a little bit lower. Breathe in. Exhale out. Feel as if you're hugging your baby in towards you a little bit. Good. And now, the motion that we're going to do is actually bringing the arms open so that they're sort of like goalposts, right? So draw the arms open, cactus arms. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Keep hugging baby in towards you. And then straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, draw it down. Cactus arms. Inhale. Reach them up. Good, and move here on your own. Stay focused on your own drishti. This is a gazing point. So it's something in front of you, right? Maybe not necessarily the screen, but something in front of you that doesn't move. Maybe it's something on the ground or on the wall. And this will help with your own balance. Lunge deeply. And then lower the hands onto the right thigh. Step the left foot up. Hands are on the thighs. And just rock the pelvis again. So this time you might even try swaying the hips a little side to side. And inhale, arms reach up, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful job. Take a big step open so that your legs are spread pretty far apart. Hands to the hips. And just take a moment to pause. Feel here the strength in your own legs. Spin the right toes open to the back end of the mat. Lunge deeply, or maybe it's the front, depending on which side you open to. Lunge deeply into the front knee. Here, the back leg is strong. Toes point to the side of the mat. Extend the arms open. Gaze towards your right fingers. Inhale, reach it back. Reverse that warrior. And come back, arms to a T. Exhale, extend into a side angle. You can even take your hand and place it on baby. And inhale, come back up. And on this reverse, you can also say hello to baby again with the bottom hand. And we're just going to move forward and back. So move again with your own breath, listening to how your body needs to move. Right? And in times of stress, there's always a little stress in the world, right? There's always a bit of stress in life. This may not even be the most stressful moment you've ever experienced. In times of stress, this practice of yoga, go ahead and straighten the front leg. Bring the arms open to a T. And you're gonna just reach the right arm way, 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 way forward. Drop it down to maybe the shin or onto the ground. And then extend the left arm up. So this practice of yoga, it is so valuable. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, look down. Go ahead and bring yourself back up. Spin the toes to point towards the long end of the mat and just pause. Feel the hands on the heart or on your baby or maybe just at the hips, and breathe. So how is yoga so valuable here? Maybe you feel it in your own body. It helps to calm the nervous system. It helps to, of course, physically strengthen the body. But more than anything, yoga is stabilizing the mind, stabilizing the thoughts. And these practices, these physical movements that we're doing, asana, they're called, these are to help the thoughts stabilize. to become a little bit more even. That's what this physical part of the practice is for. It's actually was designed so that we can sit and meditate and have this stable mind, this equanimous mind, it's called, even when life is chaotic all around. And so spin the left toes towards the short end of the mat. Right toes stay pointed to the long end. Lunge into the left knee, arms open to a T. Gaze towards your left fingertips. And then inhale, reverse, reach it back. Exhale, lower into that extended side angle, maybe even saying hello to your baby. Inhale, come back up. And so just moving here, noticing the steadiness of your breath, a steady inhale and exhale. And we'll do one more extended side angle. Inhale, come back up. Spin the toes to point to the side of the mat. And again, just take a moment to pause. How can you pause in this moment and feel grounded and centered? What are those inner resources that live so strongly within you? We all have them. I believe deeply in the resilience of human beings. Right? So many people show resilience in every day. Right? Every day we see it. Every day we see that strength. Every day we see that peace. Every day we see their hearts open. And you might see it within you. And if you don't see it, ask a friend. I'm sure that they'll share what your light is. Go ahead and spin the toes open to the side a little bit. We're going to bend into the knees. Feel the shoulders draw back. Inhale, sweep the arms up, straighten the legs, reach the hands high. Exhale, draw the palms through prayer. Inhale it up. Exhale. Good. And again, if you need to exert that energy for the mind to be calm, it's okay. You can move quicker if you're someone that needs to slow down, right? And it's not necessarily what we want to do, it's what the body is telling us we need to do, right? Then slow down, listen to that. Almost imagining like you're reaching out for that strength that you know lives within and kind of inviting it in here. What is the way that you are strong? What is the way that your ancestors have been strong? Your family, your friends, and strong in such a way that it's not just strength, but it's also warmth and compassion and care. And lift it up one more time. Draw the hands down. Walk the feet in. We're going to take the block, if you have one, place it between the thighs. If not, just imagine. Squeeze the thighs in. Bend the knees and sink the hips down. Reach the arms up. And extend the arms straight forward ahead of you. Keep the belly button facing forward and just reach the right arm back, gaze back. That arm comes forward and left arm reaches back. One more time each side. Come back up to stand, feeling how the thighs can kind of squeeze into the midline. For those of you that have a lot of instability in the pelvis and it feels like things are all kind of wonky, or if you're feeling that pressure in your pubic area, practice doing this. Practice stabilizing by using something like a block and squeezing it in. It helps to engage and strengthen the pelvic floor. It also helps to kind of stabilize the pelvic region in general. So just spending a moment here, squeezing that in, and you can just imagine sometimes if you don't have anything. And release that block to the side. I'm going to sit all the way down. And so if you want a little um, cushion to sit on or something, you might want to grab it. And I like to sit right on the edge. So like if I'm sitting up like this, I mean, I have pretty good posture anyways, but um, when you're sitting up like this, it might feel like you're leaning back a little bit. So the idea is to sort of tilt forward all the way on the cushion so that you can sit a little bit easier. Like the sits bones are just kind of sitting on top of the edge of the cushion. And so here we're going to take, again, the block, place it between the feet, squeeze the block with the feet. Feel the openness as the knees drop open, but then still squeezing in. And take a few really deep breaths. And it's okay if the knees don't go as close to the ground when doing this, it typically won't. Perhaps it feels nourishing to just lean forward a little bit, not a lot, just a tiny bit. Inhale, come back up, release that out. Release the legs out. Take a moment here to pause. And we're going to do a little breathing exercise together. This is called alternate nostril breathing. And you can sit again in whatever way you're comfortable. Honestly, on a chair is totally fine. Whatever way feels most supportive, or on a ball if you don't like sitting on the floor too much. So we're going to take the right hand, lift it up, and use the first two fingers, place them over your third eye. This right thumb is going to get placed on the side of the right nose. And then we're going to take these two end fingers here, the ring finger and pinky finger, and they're going to get placed on the left side of the nose. And what we're going to do is breathe in through, we're going to plug one side, breathe in through the left, then we're going to plug the left, breathe, wait, inhale, breathe it, yeah, plug the left, and exhale out through the right. Inhale through the right, and then exhale through the left. Inhale left. Okay, so first we're just going to notice if one side is sort of more dominantly breathing than the other side. And it changes throughout the day. It's common, it's kind of normal. So just take a moment to notice. And take your hand, placing the first two fingers over the third eye and getting your fingers ready. We're going to plug the right side. Inhale through the left. Plug the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Plug the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale. And just continue on your own. Allowing your breath to slow. Continue breathing right side to the left and then left to the right. This is called alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. It helps to balance the mind, right? Stabilize the mind. It also helps to stabilize the body. I once did this. I was going in for a surgery and I felt really, really stressed. And I had this odd thought in my mind. I'm like, if I'm stressed when they put me under, my surgery is going to go poorly. And I realized like that's totally not a logical thing to think, but that was the thought a logical thought I had in my head. And I was all hooked up to everything. And I'm like, I need to get my heart rate down. I need to get my blood pressure down. Like it was like so elevated, which is not normal for me. And so I started doing this. And you can do this even without plugging the nose. You can even just kind of think and mentally do it. Maybe even try mentally doing it here, saying breathe in through the right side, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. And you can even use like your fingers, like lifting fingers on either side. And that sometimes helps. And it was amazing as I started doing this, maybe a minute later, like everything had calmed down, all my vitals, they were back to normal. And so release the hand down if you haven't already, and maybe just take a few breaths just normally. Perhaps even noticing which side of the nose the breath is coming through. From here, I'm going to give you a few moments, a few minutes to do one kind of closing position on your own. And so some of you, you might really be needing that hip opener. And so you might choose pigeon. For some of you that are feeling a little bit like overly open in the hips, you might choose an alternative. And that could kind of look like this with um, the foot at the hip and the knee bent, and then the left leg straight. So it sort of has the kind of internal rotation of the hip. And so you might choose doing that. You can see how it feels with both your foot flexed if your knee hurts. And if it doesn't hurt your knee, you can point the toe back. You can use a block to kind of stabilize the opposite side. Or you can come into that pigeon position, a sleeping swan, especially if you're getting a little bit further along and your belly's getting bigger and bigger. You could do this position here, sleeping swan, resting on something. And just pause. Allowing for that stabilizing, that balance in the body and in the mind, and the two are really connected. I'm reminded of this kind of reading that's by John Kabat-Zinn, and I don't have it in front of me, so I can't read it exactly, but it's called The Mountain, and it refers to the idea that the mountain is constantly stable, right? It's ever strong and extremely resilient no matter what kind of weather the mountain faces. The mountain stays stable. So there could be like really, really like intense winds or hail or snow or even avalanches, heat and fires. Here in Colorado, we know all of these things all too well. And yet the mountain remains unwavering. And so here, perhaps even inviting in that mountain energy, right? That stableness, that centeredness, that strength, that resilience, that even when things are chaotic and sort of moving around us, that we can remain centered and grounded. So go ahead and you can move out of that side. And if you want to switch to the other side, please do now. Do so now. And the way that I've noticed my own stability grow is through these practices of yoga and meditation. I mean, this is how I've learned. And it really is that practice of constantly coming back to now. The mind wanders off, it gets distracted, it moves away, it does all these, things. And then we bring it back to now. What's here in this moment? The sensation in the physical body, the feelings that live within us, the thoughts that sometimes are almost like that, like wind that they just like swirl in this really vigorous way. Here within us, finding that stability, that ease, feeling each and every breath. And this is what we have. This is all there is this breath, this moment, and how we show up for that. Can we notice if the mind moves to a judging space? And they do, like the mind does, right? And being present and being stable, it takes a lot of practice. So if you don't feel it, just know it's normal. Keep practicing. Finding that peace within is often finding peace even when there's like chaos going on all around us. The human experience is full of chaotic moments, from the worries and concerns that arise during pregnancy to the uncertainty of birth and all the way through, parenting and even just, maybe your toddler becomes that chaotic um, thing around you, right? That's like having a temper tantrum. And how can we stay solid and grounded and balanced, even when all of the things are kind of swirling around you? From here, gently release that, and you can move your way into your version of Shavasana. And this is really important. Don't skip it, especially when doing this at home. I know it can be so easy to be like, I'm good. But this is when we integrate the practices. This is when we like get so much benefit from the practice. So be sure to stay in it. And so you can lie on the side. The left side is preferred. If you're comfortable lying on the back, you can lie on the back. I recommend having maybe a bolster or a pillow under the knees. You might even want to prop the right side up a little bit. And you can do that just by kind of rolling a blanket under the right hip. So you're sort of like on a little tiny bit um, of a tilt to the left. You can also set up, if you are lucky enough to have yoga props at home. If not, and you can invest in some, it's a great idea. I like the cork blocks personally because they're a little more stable. And so then you can grab bolster. A nice, firm bolster is always good. And then you can rest back. Maybe even place the feet on the floor. You can have your hands rested on baby. Your back is a little sore. I recommend having the knees bent or something underneath supporting them. And you can allow the eyes to soften or maybe close all the way. Just allowing the body to melt a little bit towards the ground. Just feeling your body take rest. Noticing if you're holding any tightness in the body, maybe in the jaw, the forehead. You can stretch out the jaw a little by opening the mouth and moving the jaw around. Feeling the shoulders release. The glutes and pelvic floor. Just kind of rest and let go. Maybe even noticing a little bit of softness in the hands, heaviness as they rest. Perhaps even inviting the sacrum to release, and the sacrum, right, the lower back, it holds a lot of energy. Holds a lot of energy around the idea of safety and stability. Family, support, all of that is something that energetically we feel around the pelvis and the lower back. So you might even imagine telling that part of the body that you're safe, it's okay, you're okay, I'm okay. In this moment, I am well. In this moment, I am safe, and in this moment, I am healthy. In this moment, I am supported. allowing the breath to slow. And slowly begin to just bring a little bit more movement back into the body. If you want a longer Shavasana, you can take it. You take as long as you want. This might be exactly where you need to be. And so honor that, listen to that. If you are ready to come out of Shavasana, you might just kind of move the body a little bit slowly, moving your way all the way up until you're seated. Once you are seated comfortably on your mat, I invite you to just place one hand on your heart, one hand on baby. Feeling the steadiness of your breath. Reminding yourself of something that you feel truly grateful for. Allow yourself to feel that gratitude. Like, I am grateful for the supports I have. I am grateful for this practice. I'm grateful for blue skies and warmer weather. I'm grateful for my health and the health of my baby. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for practicing yoga with other pregnant women. I'm grateful that my body is growing this little baby, like miraculously growing this little baby. And here you can bring your palms together in front of your heart. Carrying this gratitude out into your day, maybe even sharing it with other people. Let them know how you're grateful for them. And I thank you all so much for your beautiful practices today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Have a beautiful day.